Hey everybody, you might be wondering just what Paul has been doing since he got back from the Katy Trail. By the way, I'm not at the Eiffel Tower, that's just a wall hanging. I cut my hair. I got some new kicks. I got a new white shirt. It makes me look like James Bond.
Was that guy really comparing himself to 007? My guess, though, is you didn't come here looking for my fashion habits. So let's look forward to what I'm going to be doing bike packing and adventuring in the fall. So now I'm here at Niagara Falls to tell you about my bike packing trip from Boston to Washington, D.C., going through the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania.
So two things you won't see on Adventures with Paul. One is A, the other is I. The reason between the time lag between productions is because I don't use artificial intelligence. So it takes a long time between producing different video clips on Adventures with Paul. So what you won't see on Adventures with Paul is artificial. And if you say we won't see intelligence either, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man. Now there's a difference between AI and CGI. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos where producers put a lot of creativity and work into creating something with fanciful backdrops or teleporting from space down to Earth.
And I'm not an AI hater. It's a useful tool if you're planning out your bike packing adventures. It can calculate out how many miles to do today, possible stops, what the weather might be like on your route. It makes things a lot quicker. So now that I've told you what you won't see on Adventures with Paul, let me tell you what you will see this fall. Starting in early September, I'm going to be riding from Boston all the way to Washington, D.C. Let's take a look at what this is going to look like and how many days it's going to take. So I am starting September 8th in Provincetown, Massachusetts, riding around the Cape Cod Rail Trail to Sandwich, which is just next to the Cape Cod Canal. Then I'm going to be linking up with the East Bay bike path going into Providence. From there is a Washington secondary trail which takes me across basically the rest of Rhode Island into Connecticut, where I hit some lesser traveled roads into Willimantic. Then I'm going to be getting on the Airline Trail down towards Waterbury. Probably about half of that day is going to be on the trail. Going from there, I'm heading over to Fishkill, New York, through a combination of some trails. I'm linking up with the Empire Trail, going up over Newburgh. Then it's a southwest shot to Newton, New Jersey. There is a little bit of trails on this part, not a whole lot, but it's lesser traveled roads. Then I take a little V-shaped route going southwest and then northeast, and linking up with one trail, which is like the Pocono Rail Trail. Maybe it's 2 or 3 miles. Then I hang a little U-turn and start going south on the D&L Trail, take that all the way into Bethlehem. In Bethlehem, my plan is to meet up with at least one subscriber and visit the Coalition for Alternative Transportation that they volunteer at. So they help get bikes and alternative transportation modes to people that are in need. So I'm looking forward to that midpoint of the trip. And then continue on that till I take a detour off the D&L Trail towards Montgomeryville, head down to Coatesville on the Perkiomen Trail and the Route 202 Trail, the Enola Low Grade Trail into York, and then 2 trails heading down into Towson, and then basically some commuter paths going off to Washington, D.C. So about a 2-week adventure. Here's something else you won't be seeing, but you will be seeing. Now, Paul, what the heck do we mean by that? Well, you won't be seeing me produce the video on iMovie, but you will be seeing the results of this. I've decided to go completely 100% production on the iPad, which means iMovie for the iPad. It also means file management on the iPad, and it means Insta360 on the iPad. So I can do all of those things on the iPad and produce the movie rather than carrying my laptop. I am going to be producing daily videos, at least that's my plan, because I really enjoyed doing that when I was traveling the Route 66 on my Specialized Cirrus. Since I said Cirrus, let's talk about the bike I'm going to be taking. This trip I'm going to be using my Diverge. Reason being, it can hold more water with a bike packing setup with a seat bag and the 2 fork bags. I'm going hotel to hotel on this trip. It's 100% hotels, so I don't have to carry any camping gear. Because I looked at the camping options, and there was about 1 night that I had in a campground. There were 2 other nights that were stealth camps. And to carry about that 9 to 10 pounds of camping gear just for 3 nights out of about 13 nights, I figured I'm just going to do hotels to hotels. Also, on this trip, I'm going to be bringing back the Jeopardy. I had a good time with that on the Katy Trail. I was going to do something like Who Wants to Be a Bike Packer, kind of take off on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing, but I thought I'm going to go right back to Jeopardy. I'm still coming up with the categories, and if you're not familiar with it, how it works is this. I give you different categories. Say the category is YouTube. So the answer might be, these 2 buttons are the first thing you click when you enjoy someone's content. And the answer is, what is like and subscribe? Coming up in November, I hope to do like a 4 or 5 day trip and a collaboration with another YouTube producer. So stay tuned for that. I hope that comes to being, because I think that would be a lot of fun. Okay, so as we say goodbye to Niagara Falls, as always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of Adventures with Paul. And I will catch you on the road in September.